Holy moly, I'm going through a lot of technical stuff here. We got it. So, hi. uh, Today we're going to go over spirituality. Um, so, yeah, anyway, I've been going through the whole self journal in order to help people who don't have it understand the value of having a journal that helps you measure where you're at and how to progress in the areas of your mind, heart, spirit, and body. Because this is going to take off. Like, I even have a hard time believing, just because it's hard to really fully see what you haven't seen yet. But this is going to be massive. I can see it so clearly, that the idea of measuring the esoteric, or what is thought to be esoteric, and making practical the things that are essential but often confusing, especially things like spirituality. And so today is actually about the spirit. And I want to talk to you really quickly about spirituality, because I've found that my entire life I stayed so far away from anything remotely spiritual, just because of the people that were representing spirituality. So that could have been religion, could have been New Agey. I knew a bunch of New Agey people before everybody was New Agey, and they were just weird, very unrelatable. And so, of course, that was my own assessment and own judgment, and they're not weird. That was just their expression of their faith, whatever. Um, who am I to say that those Hare Krishna haircuts are weird? Maybe that's normal and I'm weird. I don't know. I don't care. But what I do care about is making things as practical as possible, because when they become practical, we stop putting them in a box and we just make them a part of our day-to-day life, which is really important for spirituality, because spirituality played out in a practical way just means learning how to appreciate every aspect of life and not letting your external circumstance define your internal reality. That's crazy. So if you didn't let that sink in, think about that. Never letting your external circumstances define what you think and what you feel. And that's all under our control when we understand how to do this. So let me get into the text. I'll bring it up here through the magic of the internet. So here we go. Whole spirit. Many people seem to get lost in their pursuit of becoming more spiritual, due to the fact that spiritual matters are largely invisible and experiential. There's a lot of room for interpretation. But what if spirituality could also be practical? What if, instead of being about performing a series of rituals, it was as natural as bathing? And let me stop right there, because I love rituals. I personally have many rituals that I perform every single day. And they're for me. They're not for anybody else. They're for me to take steps outside of myself and get into an altered state, a state where I'm not thinking about money, and I'm not planning, and I'm not confining God and other people into boxes of my own understanding, of my own creation, but instead learning how to expand my mind and expand my heart to experience more than what I would if I was just like, typically we see something and then we automatically try to squeeze it into everything that we know and have felt before, and we categorize it, we put it in a box, and we check it. Oh, I understand this. But learning to expand your mind, expand your heart, allows you to grow, first of all, but also allows you to see deeper into the real nature of things instead of your limited point of view. So for instance, one thing is like stepping outside of what do I think and say, what does God think about this? What does something larger than me think about this situation? Because I'm telling you, it's not what you think, because we just have a series of programs and reactions. And when you can step outside of those programs and those reactions, you can see the other person. Say it's an altercation, you're fighting with somebody. Instead of saying, well, it's because they're like this, they're like this. Well, guess what? If there's a God, God loves them too. And how does God love them? What is God seeing that you're not seeing? And so that really helps you step outside of your own bias and go to a higher perspective. Back to the book. While many people chase after having a spiritual experience, this journal will challenge you to take a much more measurable and meaningful approach to your spirituality. Just as with anything else, it is essential to never use spirituality as a way to escape your problems, because there is no resolution in avoidance. Bro, this is the deepest stuff ever. And I wrote it with the help of Raphael and other people, but this is definitely not my own thinking. This is not saying that I was plugged in, but I really feel like these ideas are far greater than anything I could come up with. Because listen to this, like, I know so many people who are like taking ayahuasca and doing all these things, which just stimulate a chemical response in you. But what's the point? What's the point? That's why people started doing LSD back in the 60s, or that was their excuse anyway. And it's a bunch of crap. It's a distraction from the main point. The main point, and this gets into the next sentence here, is instead try to view spirituality as the highest form of connection. So a lot of people, think about how many religious people you know that use religion as a way to escape their problems, or new agey people as a way to, say, oh, it's the universe or this kind of thing. And it's like, it's not about taking less responsibility. It's about learning to be more humble, but it's about connecting much more deeply with yourself and also with the source, the creator. So by going deep within yourself through prayer and meditation, we can connect to a higher power, the source of life, love, and truth, connect to the past, the present, and the future with more clarity, connect to our own potential, connect with limitless possibilities. Sound good? I hope I'm selling you on spirituality, because you can do all this. I mean, I've invested the last 10 years of my life solid in doing nothing but this. This was my main priority. And through this, I ended up having a wife. She just like literally fell into my life. I didn't select her or anything. It was like given to me by God. She was given to me and I was given to her. We were given to each other. And then we have 3 boys that were given to us, totally beyond anything that I could have planned for. But I had to kind of make room for that to happen. I had to go deep within. Back to the book, once we've habitualized being connected with our higher selves, it is paramount that we link this connection with the people in our lives. The practical application of spirituality is being able to humbly serve others, simply wanting to give love without expecting the expectation of receiving anything in return. So it's being in a total state of serving and giving and not needing anything because you're full, like you're brimming with so much love and awe for life itself, that giving is not a burden. It's like you can't help but give because it's just coming out of you. You're overflowing. It's just like, what do I do with it? You got to give it. You got to give it. That's what happens when you're really connected to source. The vision occurs when we are stuck in the material world. When we worry about the future and remind ourselves of mistakes from the past, we feel disconnected from our power to make a difference, from other people, and from the source of love. In that state, we judge, we justify ourselves, we refuse to apologize, and we compare ourselves endlessly to others. The more we connect with our true selves, the greater our capacity will be to make a meaningful impact in the lives of others and leave an indelible legacy of love behind. I mean, come on. So, in short, just look at your day to day. And every time you go on social media, you start to compare. You know why? Because you're in your head, you're not in your heart. When you go on social media, if you need to, if you feel inclined to go on social media, and you go on these platforms, what if instead of thinking and comparing yourself and then wanting material possessions and then feeling a lack, if you flipped the script and you decided, what can I give? And you just started writing post after post about the people that you love and why you love them, it changes how you experience the world. It's a simple flip, but that's part of the benefit of understanding the practical realities of spirituality. It's about getting to a higher state beyond our human limited capacities so that we can love more deeply and love endlessly ourselves, the people around us, the earth, everything. And when you're in that state, and it's not kumbaya, it's like, it's hardcore. That's what this journal is. It's like, it takes effort to reorient yourself to that methodology of thinking and doing, but it's absolutely feasible. Not only that, it's very practical. When you're in that state, you get more done. And even when you get a little bit done, you feel more satisfied than had you been running around trying to make more money, to buy more stuff, to fill the hole in your heart that'll never be satiated. So, you got this. I hope you enjoy this. If you need to buy this journal, go to wholegoalslife.com. You can buy the journal there. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. Our emails, you can contact us through that website, and I will talk to you when you talk to me. Peace.